Hi everyone, my name's Lou Sims and I'm part of the Ciao creative team. Today I'm sharing a project using the Cozy Moments collection and creating a 3D decoration come photo album. Now this is an MDF piece which I've already prepped with gesso. Now I'm placing a piece of card underneath because I want to actually stick all these two pieces together. So this card is actually going to be a template. So I'm going to draw around the actual apertures, and that now means I know if I want to place photographs in there exactly the size that they need to be for the finished project. So it's just really keeping that backing in. Now, I'm using gel medium from Pretty Gets Gritty, and I've chosen a paper from the Cozy Moments paper collection, the 12 by 12. And I love this paper because it's already got the wording in the background, so I don't actually now need to think of another sentiment if I don't want to. So the gel medium is a great way of just sticking the paper down. So I'm just making sure all the words of, the lettering is facing in the right direction. I'm going to cut away the excess paper using scissors to start with, and then I will get out my craft knife and get into all the different areas. If you didn't want the windows, just leave them as it is and cover them with paper. Nobody would be any the wiser, and it would just be a house shape. So as I said, I'm using a craft knife and I'm going to cut into all the different areas. And I'm not worried about my cutting being 100% perfect because I think that goes with the vibe of the papers. And they've got that shabby chic sort of a effect to them. So I've decided to cut away everything, including the tree image. And the reason I want to do that for both the heart and the trees, I want to use them as areas to build up with embellishments. And so therefore I've got like an aperture to work into and add a few more 3D embellishments. So once I've got all this cut out, what I'm then going to do is I'm actually going to stick it to the base unit. Now I'm sticking mine down, but alternatively, if you wanted to have it so you could change your photographs on a regular basis, add magnets instead, and then you could pull the two pieces apart. The gel medium from Pretty Gets Gritty has a really good stick, so that's why I've chosen this medium, and I'm putting on a thin layer. I prefer to use a spatula rather than a brush because I just find that I can spread it out a lot easier that way. So once I've got the gel medium with a full coating, I'm just going to line everything up and just make sure, it's all in place. And then I'm going around with a very watered down white gesso just around the edges, just to blur in the papers just that little bit more. And it just gives me also an area where I'm going to actually add some texture paste as a visual clue. So the texture paste, I'm just using the texture paste now as my sort of faux snow. It also gives me some grounding points where I add all my different embellishments to the actual piece. I will use more texture paste later once I've got everything in place. Once the texture paste is in place, I'm just going to start now adding different embellishments. So these are just things I found in my stash that I've had around for ages. I'm using gel medium to stick them down because it'll really adhere to the paper and actually stay put. Now the sleigh image that you see and all the other images you see are a mixture of from the fussy cut pad, the 6" by 6" fussy cut pad, and also from the 12" paper pads. So using bits of card, I'm creating a layer. So this will actually now, instead of be more secure than using 3D foam and joining them together with gel medium. This means I can raise up that beautiful sleigh image so it stands above all the flowers I've just put in. Next, I'm doing exactly the same using little bits of card and gel medium, and I'm going to stick down some of these beautiful little birdhouse images that you can find in the 6-inch fussy cut pad. I'm going to layer them up on the tree because I think logically, you know, that's where they should be. Now, you get lots of little wreath images in the fussy cut pad, and I've cut them out, but I'm cutting them in half to make them go a little bit further and just wrapping them around the birdhouses. So it gives a little bit of floral interest to them too. Now, I'm going to add the deer, but before I do that, I just want to give add a little bit of greenery, just to give the deer somewhere to be hiding, somewhere to be standing amongst. And again, this is using some embellishments I found in my cupboard, and I think they work perfectly. So I'm using texture paste to stick them down, and the reason I've done that, it's so it looks like they're already embedded into snow. So again, using scraps of card, I'm layering all the card up, sticking it in place with the gel medium. Now this will raise up the deer image perfectly and stick securely into place. Right, now onto some other bits, adding up some more embellishments. And this is going to be a mixture of the embellishments I've cut out from the fussy cut pad. And I'm going to raise some of them up as before, and some I'm just going to stick directly into place. And I'm building my scene up, and I'm going with elements that I like the look of. Again, using one of the wreaths that you get, I've cut it in half, and I'm going to put it around one of the windows only. And I'm going to decorate it with some of the fir cones you get as embellishments. Some of those I'll layer up. Some of them I'll actually stick down flat. And it's just tying all the other different elements together. You get different sizes, so I can use a larger one, smaller one. There is so many different elements to choose from the fussy cut pad. It's actually knowing what not to use. Now I've got some sisal or stringy stuff, and I'm going to add it to the bottom of the sleigh just because I want a little bit of texture there. And taking a lot of stamens, I found, I just grabbed a bunch, and what I do is I then take one stamen and just wrap it round and tie a knot, and it keeps everything in place. I'm going to stick down with gel medium, and I'm just going to put it around and about in different places on the actual house image where I think it would look, you know, best. So it's a bit like adding winter foliage, but I've now got a little bit of an extra texture. To hide some of my gluing, I'm going to use other embellishments that I've already cut out from the fussy cut pad. And I'm just going to keep using the stamen and adding them in lots of different areas where I just think it will add, you know, bring in the snow element because it's a winter scene, but it'll just add a little bit of extra texture and a little bit of extra depth. I'm going now to the tree aperture bit. I thought it would be nice to tie in some more of the stringy stuff, the sisal, and I'm going to add that now just behind the greenery I put into place first. I'm adding using texture paste again because I want it to look like it's been stuck down by snow, give that illusion. And I've used the aperture from where the tree was. Using texture paste, I'm filling up the heart area because I want the, you know, if there is gaps, I want it to look like there's, you know, the heart has been full of snow, as you know, when you get a snowstorm. Adding a little bit more decoration around that actual area, again, using one of those beautiful wreaths, but making it go a little bit further. Next, let's look at the birdhouses and start adding a little bit of decoration to them as well. And it's now just picking little bits and pieces and seeing where I think there's gaps and filling them either with some of the cutout elements or by adding some of the stamens or some of the other embellishments I've actually got. And bit by bit, I just look where there's gaps and, you know, see where I think something should go. And I, you know, it's one of those things. It's just look at that area. Does it need something? Doesn't it? And just keep filling where, where your eye thinks the best is. So once I've done the lower half, I thought actually I needed to bring some more stamens in and just match up what was going on where the top flower was near the heart area as well, and fill out some other gaps from the sleigh. So it was hiding that the sleigh had been layered up. So when the piece is standing up, you couldn't see a huge big gap and all my gluing. And now building up around the flower and just matching, areas in, so all the embellishments tie in somewhere together. Once I've finished with the stamens and, building up all of those, I found I had some little red beads, gems, and I'm just going to place them in now so there's a little bit more red appearing in other places, not just from the two flowers. So tying in the theme just a little bit more. I'm going to cover them or colour them with the texture paste a little bit later. Now I found these golds, I'm not sure, in bits, berries, I'm not sure, but I'm adding them now in different places, just to add, another colour to my actual project. And again, it's looking to where I see there's some gaps and where I think visually they will work and they look good. But then I'm dreadful. I never know when to stop adding an embellishment and to walk away. So now I'm happy that I've got everything in place. I had a look and I thought that I needed a couple more floral embellishments. So taking some different florals from the 12-inch paper pad, I'm just cutting out some of those and I'm going to add them in different places, just to tie in some more of the different elements from the backing paper, and also extend some of the decorations. And because I'm using similar image, it just makes all the different places I've got decoration a little bit more joined up. So they're all going to be stuck down again with gel medium, just because then I know everything's nicely secured into place. So once, I'm happy and, I've got everything where I want it to be, I'm now going to add an extra layer of texture paste. And this is now, building up in my head where the snow would be. It hides a little bit of the gluing. It also sticks some of the embellishments down in place so they're just not floating in the air. And it gives that a little bit more of an illusion that the lower elements are sitting amongst the snow, whether it's snow flurries or banks. I thought I should also then repeat that again onto the chimney and the top of the fire and the top of the actual house. And it just builds it up a little bit more texture and a little bit more depth. I'm going to also go around that little bit I did in the window so that ties in that area as well. And I think it just finishes it off. As I said, makes all of the different places I've added embellishments appear, well, no, hopefully, do actually work together. Once I've got all the texture paste where I actually want it to be, I'm grabbing some translucent glitter. So this is my finished project and I'm happy where everything is at the moment. And because I created that template at the beginning, I can actually now cut that out and I'll be able to cut my photographs to fill into the gaps and they'll fit just perfectly. Thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you were inspired by the Cozy Moments collection, and you'll create some wonderful keepsake Christmas pieces too. Until next time, thanks very much. Bye.